Welcome back, everyone. Let's talk about another stock we're tracking this morning, Jack in the Box. Not moving too much at the opening bell right now, but doing well year to date. It's up 35%, and our guest has Jack in the Box as one of his top picks. Let's bring back in Brian Frank, Frank Fund's CIO and Frank Value Fund Portfolio Manager. All right, why Jack in the Box? Among all the names that are out there in all the King's land, why Jack in the Box?
Well, it's been working for us this year because, as you said, it is up over 30%, and most value stocks haven't moved that much. So that's put us towards the top of our category in the Frank Value Fund. Why do we like it? Because they got killed by inflation like everybody else. And the market punished it last year. So we look at stocks that go down, and we look at why they're going down. And the determination from our research on Jack in the Box was this inflation pain is temporary. This company will be able to raise their prices and get on top of their costs and get their profit margins back to where they were before the inflation environment.
But who's going to Jack in the Box? I've never been to one before, so where is the demand here?
Coming from the Northeast, it's difficult to find a Jack in the Box. They're in primarily in California, the West and the South. But a lot of people are going. They actually have more sales per store than Burger King. So this is a big established brand with room for expansion. They definitely could expand to the Northeast. They just bought another chain called Del Taco, which is in the Southeast and the South. They could bring that throughout the United States. There's a lot of room for growth here, both in the margins and the revenue.
Okay, so Jack in the Box, one of the top picks. Where else are you looking and kind of prioritizing or perhaps even making some new plays as well?
We like defense still, as I mentioned.
Like defense,
yes. So one of our top plays would be PG&E, which is an electrical company in Northern California. Definitely has a rough track record with causing a lot of the wildfires, but they went Chapter 11. They got rid of the entire executive team, and they brought in Patty Pope, who was the first female CEO of 2 different Fortune 500 companies. And she is spectacular. They've completely reduced wildfires to almost zero.
Has sentiment changed on the company?
Sentiment is changing, yeah. So that's the great thing about value investing is you go in there when everybody hates it, and then you get to see the sentiment kind of build over the years. So it got added to the S&P 500 last year. It was one of our top performers. My fund was up last year when the market was down, thanks to PCG.
Does that make crypto a value investment play?
Oh, come on. Sorry, go ahead.
Crypto doesn't pay me a dividend. If we're not going to talk about staking.
Smart.
We're not going to talk about Bruno.
and speaking of dividends, PCG, in terms of riding that chain higher, they're going to initiate a dividend this year, which all utility stocks must have. And that'll bring more investors to the fold, and perhaps they get added to the XLU.
All right, you handled that wild card about crypto well. Thank you. All right, our thanks to Brian Frank Fund, CIO and Frank Value Fund Portfolio Manager.